Hello everyone. So today we are going to start working on this credits screen. So initially we are going to create a data structure and a data table to represent credits. So we can use into the data table all the credits that we need to show in the game, and then there will be a widget. We will create that too, that reads from the data table and automatically populate entries for the credits. And so we will focus on that in the first part. In the next part we will work on how to integrate the credits into the main menu and how to get this transition from main menu to credits screen, and how to get this auto scrolling going, and once it's done, how to automatically redirect back into the main menu. And also, if we need, we have this back button too if we want to go back before finishing all the credits. So yeah, let's start working on that today. And before we get started, let me remind you that you can download the project files of this project and all other thousands of projects I have done in my channel from the parent page. Once you become a member, you can access everything without any limits. And also, here is the full playlist of this series. Everything is implemented from scratch and explained. You can follow these episodes and implement everything by yourself. So feel free to check it out. I'll leave links to everything in description below. And now let's get started with today's episode. Okay, so first thing we need is some data structure to create a data table to define credits. So here under structures, I'll add a new data structure. I'll call it as credits, and here I'll add three things. Category. So this is the way I'm planning to do. Here, this is some fake credits that I have generated. I want to show this section, and then under each section I'm going to create a category, role, and for each role there will be a name. There can be multiple names for same role as well. So therefore, category, text, and role. What's this? Role and name. Well, not name, names. I'm gonna make this an array because one role can have multiple names, multiple employees. Okay, save and close. Now let's go to data, and here let's create a data table. Now choose credits structure, dt credits. Okay, right. Now let's start adding. So new row, it's leadership, and the category is, well, let's call this project leadership and vision, and the role project director, and name, I'm going to put only one name here, Master Chief, and let me duplicate this. Next thing is executive producer. So just like this, I'll keep adding. Okay, I think this should be enough for testing. Let me close this. Now, okay, now let's start creating the UI component required. So first, let's create the main credits widget. But for this, I don't think I should use one of these here. One of these settings panels, because they appear smaller in the UI. Let me show you here. So this is the only area it's going to take, but for the credit screen, I think we need a bigger area, at least as we are scrolling through the screen. So let's create a user interface widget blueprint, and I'll choose common activatable widget, this one, base common activatable widget. This is something we already created in this project, but if you don't have that, you can use this common activatable widget. And WBP credits. Okay, now here the main item we would have, let me add an overlay first. Okay, now under that I'll add a scroll box. I think this scroll box is enough, so let me add it. Center, align vertically and horizontally. Or let's do this. Yeah, and I'll set this to a variable SAB scroll. SAB credits. Okay, and now I don't want to just add a text block here and add everything into this. If I just wanted to do that, I don't think I wouldn't have to create this data table and everything. The reason that I created a data table is so that even though here, like later on, even though you don't have the specific code, somewhere over here also you can add a leadership position, and it should appear properly in the UI under same section. So that's why I did it. I'm planning to do it this way. So now I'm gonna create a separate widget for each section that would be created dynamically and added into this SCB credits. So, and under each credit section, I will add another widget for roles as well. Okay, so let's go into the UI, widgets, sub widgets, and new folder credits, because we are going to have at least two kinds of widgets here. So user interface widget blueprint. So a user widget would be enough here. I'll call this one WBP ready section, or let's call it category. Credit category. Now here I'll add a vertical box. Let's call it maybe credit. Yeah, and make it a variable. And in the top I'll add the text, common text. Let's center it. Use some padding from the top like this, and I'll assign, since this is a common text, I can assign a text style. I'll choose this one. Yeah, and let's call it credit category. So this would be something like the production or engineering and code design, something like that. Under this we need to see roles and names. Okay, so for that I'll create another widget, blueprint, user widget, WBP credit role. Okay, here also let's add here let's start with the horizontal box. On the left I need to show the role name, and on the right I need to show the names of the people who worked on that role. So let's add a text, command text, and for this I might use this one, maybe. It's too small. This one, okay. And then let's name this city role name. Let me duplicate this. I'll call it city. What should I call this? Names. Let's just call it city role. Not role name, just role. So this should be centered. Doing this. No, I'll set it like this. And this one will be right aligned. I'll set the text to role, and here I'll add, for example, two names, name 1, name 2. Okay, now as I said, let's define a minimum length, desired width 50. Okay, and this should be centered. So to make that happen, let's add a space here and it fill. Now this push all the way here, these two elements, and let's add another spacer here, so these two are pushed into the middle. Roll, I think we should, yeah, that's better. Okay, maybe we should have more than 250, and there should be padding because we need to see some gap here. This one on the right 20, this one on the left 20. Okay, and both on the bottom body. Yeah. Okay, now let me add one of these, a couple of these for testing into the credit category. Roll. So it should come under VP credit like this. Okay, maybe we shouldn't have such a big gap, but there should be some gap here. So on the bottom 20, and between these two I think just 10 should be enough. Yeah, so this is how it appears. Now for testing, under credits, I'll add a couple of these credit categories. Yeah, it will appear like this, but they should be dynamically populated, not this way. So for that, let's go to the code. This is a variable. Here I'll add a variable dt credits. This is a data table, check reference, and here we can select DT credits, and let's use on activated event because we are going to activate this widget. This is a common user widget, so this will be called when the widget is activated. Now DT credits, get row, get data table row names. Let's promote this to collapse this into a function so that we can have local variables as well without ruining the code too much. So initialize credits, and let's run a for each row through the data table. And for each name from the credits, we can get the table, get data table row is in the name. Okay, out row is undetermined. We can break this to as credits. Now here we are going to create a credit category widget for each unique category. So to store that, I'll add a variable. This is a text. Credit categories. Okay. And it should be text. Can I use the map type with text? No. So let's use name. Oh, string. No, I can. And map. And the other side should be WBP, credit category. Get reference. Okay, now get this map. So initially we wouldn't have anything, but in the second time when we encounter an arrow with the same category, we would have something here. We would have a credit category that represents this category. So let's do a find a category. So if it is there, then I'll promote this to a local variable. Let's call it credit category. And then I can add this credit into that credit category. So to do that, let's add a function here in the credit category. Add credit, and we should get an input parameter as credit. Let's call it credit. For now, I'll just break this, but I just don't need to do anything basically for now. So I'll just leave it empty, and then foci here. So this is if I have an element in this map. If I don't have, we need to create one. Create widget, and I'll promote this to a variable. Wait, no, I'll select credit category and promote this to no, I'll set it like this. Now let's promote this to a local variable, credit category widget class, and get on in player. This is a user widget pass to credit category. Okay, now when we create this, well, let's expose a name because I need to initialize this name, credit category. I'll call this city category and make it a variable. Then on construct, set this text. Here I promote this to a variable category name. Wait, let's just call it category. Okay, and I'll expose this on spawn, make it public, so we should see it here. Oh, I didn't see that because this is no, we have to assign it, otherwise we wouldn't see that. Create widget and select credit category. Yeah, now we see the category, and now we don't even need to do the cast. Better. So now the name category, we can assign it from here. Okay, and then we don't need a return here, we need a reroute node. So no matter how we get our credit category, we can well, after we spawn in this, we need to add this to the SCB credits. So add child and add this one. That should be enough for now. We might need to set the scaling and alignment and everything, but I'll just leave it like this for now. And then at the end, we can add credit. We can call add credit. Which can be done like this. Now let me delete this. Where do I call this? Initialize credits. It's unactivated. Let me call it here so we can see it. Initialize credits. Nothing is visible. Call it on pre-construct. Yeah, now we see it, but credit category is not visible. Right, we should use this. Why? Yeah, now we have it. But why do I see multiple entries for same category? Oh. We didn't add this newly created element into our map yet. We need to do that, otherwise we will have to create multiple elements. So add, and this should be the credit category, and the name would be this category. Okay, now it should work. Yeah, see, this title, is it not centered? Should be now. And I'll add a default value, category name. Centered, okay. Okay, it is centered. Now here under credits, we see the name, this name correctly. Next thing is we would need to fill up these roles and names as well. Now for that, here we already created this function. Initialize credits. No, not here in the credit category. We added this add credit function. Now similar to before, here we would need a map to hold roles as well. So let's add a variable roles. Let's just call it roles. String and change it to a map. Other side will be WP credit role. Object reference. Okay, now from this we can break and get the role. From here we can try to find this using the role. And if you have it, all good, you can promote this to a local variable. Let's just call it role. If not, we can create widget. I'll use this credit role, and here too I'll set the text. And promote this to a variable. Role name. Let's make this access public and expose on spawn. Let's just say raw, the default value. Now, okay. Now we can get the row from here. Get on in player. Okay, promote this to, oh no, we already have the variable set row. And we need to add this to this VB credit. VB credit, add child to vertical box. This is the content. And also we need to add this to the roles map. Role is the object. It's role name. Is the value. Is the ID. Okay. And at the end, oh, we need a reroute node. We need to add this name into the row. Name or names into the row. Now you might wonder, why did I do this? That's because even though here I have only unique roles, but I can add another networking role over here and it would still appear under the same category without any problem. So that's why I wanted to have this this map based approach to add roles as well. Okay, now that we have the role, I can add role of, we don't have a function here yet, so let's add another function to pass the credit role. Add role input as credits. Credit. Okay, now here we are only interested in these names. So let's add a for each loop. This. Okay, now before I implement this, let me call it here. I'll draw. Pass this credit. Okay. Now let's go here and compile. Now see, we have project director, executive producer. We have these correct names as well. But I see this role and role. That's because under category I have these examples. So let me remove that. Now we have all the correct items. The only thing remaining is initializing the names. Alright, so to initialize names, here we have the names and we are running through for each loop. Let's add a local variable text names from the type text, and then I'll set it. Here let's do a format text, and I'll do this. L1 stands for line 1, and enter, shift enter, so you can go down. L2. Now you get L1 and L2, and I'll append names into L1, this into L2. Well, this might give us one line already down, but let's test. And then all I need to do is set names. This would be raw. Yeah. Set text. Set text. See, as I said, one line already below. So to fix that, but this kind of looks nice actually. I didn't mean to do that, but it looks nice having one line below. But I don't want to leave that. If you want, you can, totally fine. So here, if this is 0, so initially we don't need to have this new line. So do this. Much. If it is false, take this way. If it is true, set names directly with this value. No new line required. Okay. File. Okay. Now one line. So we already took more than 30 minutes. And I think that should be enough for today. And let's break it down here. Now we can get automatically from the data table into our credits widget. So let's see how to integrate this with the menu system that we already have, and how to auto scroll it, and how to add a back button, all those things in the next episode. So thanks for watching. As always, updated project files will be available for download here in the Patreon page. Link would be in the description below. And let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.